Hi, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to this vid by Hello Yassine. It's titled The Biggest Punching Bag in Music History. It's talking about Travis Scott. I want to hear what he has to say. I'm interested in this because I recently watched the documentary that's on Netflix, and I felt bad for him watching that. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I felt bad for the people involved as well, but it became crystal clear to me that that was not his fault. That was not this man's fault. And I mean, obviously, I already knew it wasn't all on him, but I think I was placing a bit more blame on him when it first happened, and I didn't like his response. That video was kind of weird. But you know, I was kind of like, oh, he kind of eggs his fans on to be rowdy. It's like, you kind of contributed to this. But hearing the details of the situation, I was like, nah, that wasn't on him. I'll talk more about that at the end of the video if you haven't seen the doc. But let's hear what he has to say first. Let's watch.
Travis Scott has been quietly getting bullied behind the scenes of the music industry for the better part of 8 years now. But recently, it's come to a head with an avalanche of criticism.
Him specifically, too. I don't take it as personal as I should. It's Travis. He's harmless. I'm not into his whole makeup.
And Pusha T's arguably not the only person who has used him as a punching bag for promoting a new album.
The Travis video that had leaked. Travis. How many Travises are there?
And if you look at other feuds with Meek Mill and Tyga's crew, you could make the case that Travis is one of hip-hop's biggest punching bags. But how did things get to this situation? How did one of the most commercially and critically successful rappers of the 2010s become such an easy target?
Jesus.
What Pusha seemed to argue is that Travis Scott has been trying to play neutral on multiple beefs and avoiding confrontation. But this wasn't always the case. In fact, in October of 2016, Travis was seen going out of his way to confront someone that he had beef with. At the Luna Music Festival in San Antonio, Texas, Travis and Tory Lanez got into a heated argument in what seems to be a tour bus or trailer. The background to this argument started when Tory featured on the Meek Mill track Liddy. Tory used a lot of auto-tune on this verse, and people noted that he sounded like Travis Scott. In response, Tory Lanez tweeted, "I can't sound like somebody I wrote for." As explained in this interview for Hot New Hip Hop 2 years prior to that incident.
Sometimes people don't really actually know how much writing I really do, you know what I'm saying? I did the latest for Travis Scott and T.I., the record that they got, the brand new Travis shit, I wrote that.
However, Travis viewed this a different way. From his perspective, he was merely asked by T.I. to sing a hook for the song, and agreed to do so. And this is somewhat different than having people write songs for you. So, at the Luna Festival in San Antonio, Travis decided to talk it out with them backstage. However, this incident did not go according to plan.
You said I sound like something? I said what I said. If you felt the way and you want to handle it the way you want to handle it, that's what we get right now. Someone say, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? No. Or you want to shoot the fake? Everybody can get out of here. Every single person can get out of here. Literally every person can get out of here, and we can shoot the fake. Everybody just get out of here. Let's just shoot the fake.
That's Tory saying?
I'm not for it. I'm not for it.
Tory is he's so annoying. He has such little man syndrome. Like that just sounds like overkill. And all you hear is him. You don't even hear Travis like coming at him. So why are you like, oh, we can fight. We can fight. You want to fight? Everybody get out so we can fight. Like, calm down. He said, let me holler at you, and you didn't like that?
Thankfully, nothing happened, but the consensus was that Travis had backed down from a fight with Tory Lanez. And the interesting thing was this footage was not leaked shortly afterwards, but 2 years later on World Star Hip Hop. And similarly to Pusha T, this beef surfaced when Tory Lanez had something to promote. And many people thought that Tory Lanez leaked the video.
Now, the strangest part about all this is the only reason people found out about this is because 2 years after the incident, the video surfaces for people to see. Tory Lanez starts going on a press tour talking about what happened. Talk about, oh man, this weird video came out where I'm saying, yo, let's run the fade. And I'm looking all tough. I guess I better address it.
Tory Lanez suddenly boosted his profile and had everyone wanting to know more about this fight.
The Travis video that had leaked. Travis. How many Travises are there? Scott. Yeah. What about it? What do you understand?
I'm cool with it. I mean, I don't know how that video actually ended up getting leaked because from where the camera was, that's like where his homies was standing at when the whole situation was going down.
Mm.
And so I think he thinks that like I leaked it, but like what he doesn't realize is I get no cool points out of looking like I'm gonna fight you. Like, I love Travis Scott's music.
6 months after this altercation, Tory Lanez released a new album, and even contained a verse about the incident on the song Hate to Say. However, Tory does not use Travis as a full punching bag in this case, and he explained that this drama was over, rapping, "Me and Travis Scott almost fought at the Mala Luna. We both agreed shortly after that it was music. We possibly could be doing that's bigger than trying to ruin it. So my apologies, just forgive me for doing it." But even though Tory denied leaking the video, Travis's longtime producer Southside was not convinced and decided to take his own shots at Tory.
We don't gotta do no whole shit to the sale records, you Chaz. Got it. Tell that bitch ass nigga Tory Lanez do that. We want all the smoke, all the face call, whatever you want to call it. We in California on the regular, you Chaz.
But this would be only the beginning of many public scuffles involving Travis Scott. And on the 4th of July, 2021, Travis would find himself going toe-to-toe with none other than Meek Mill. On July 4th, Travis was at a star-studded party at the Hamptons hosted by Michael Rubin, who at the time was an owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, the infamous White Party. Among the big names at the party were Jay-Z, Beyonce, Lil Uzi Vert, John Bon Jovi, and sadly for Travis, Meek Mill. It's unclear how this happened, but at roughly 1:30 a.m., Meek and Travis were engaged in a shouting match, with Meek doing the majority of the shouting. The origins of this feud are not in the public domain, and neither rapper has commented about the situation since. Academics also struggled to find out exactly what they were saying.
I'm trying to decipher some of the shoutings, and looked like he might have been asking for a one-on-one fade, which is so ironic. I thought Meek said he don't fight, but I hear another voice. I don't know if it's someone else that was with Meek or with Travis. All I keep hearing is Meek saying, "What would you do in my position?" And then he said something about, "We don't care about Travis." I can't tell if it's the same voice or only Meek. I do hear him saying, "Yo, I ain't doing nothing, I ain't moving." Looked like security or someone was trying to make sure he kept calm.
The only public issues between Meek and Travis was in 2018, when Travis agreed to perform alongside Maroon 5 at the Super Bowl, and this was during the drama surrounding Colin Kaepernick taking the knee, becoming a free agent, and then supposedly getting blackballed from every team in the NFL. Meek simply responded to a news story about Travis performing with, "For what? And he don't need that, he on fire already. Stay strong in this ish." But given that these two incidents were 3 years apart, it might be a bit too much of a stretch to put two and two together. So in this case, it's difficult to level the punching bag accusation at Travis. However, 2 years later, another rapper had something to promote, and this coincided with an apparent diss at Travis. But I'm going to let you make up your mind and see if this was aimed at Travis. Right or wrong, Travis has been accused of copying A$AP Rocky's style. And clearly, Travis has respect for Rocky, but also views himself as a different artist.
Different, yeah.
And A$AP seemed to take this comparison as a compliment and has claimed that a lot of the supposed beef between them has been overplayed.
I mean, I saw similarities for sure. You know, I saw that he was inspired like that, but that's what we did it for. Yeah, like that's good sportsmanship, right?
But a year after this Drink Champs interview, A$AP was promoting new songs at the Rollin' Loud Festival and seemed to take aim at Travis. People assume that this could be about Drake, who famously dated Rihanna. However, Travis also dated Rihanna in 2015 during Rodeo. And Drake isn't really known for stealing Rocky's style, or at the very least, not to the same extent as Travis. It's still uncertain whether this was a genuine diss at Travis, but the following year, Travis would find himself in yet another feud. History repeated itself where Travis was invited to another high-profile party surrounded by celebrities and got into a messy conflict with another well-known rapper. In May of 2024, Travis was at the famous Cannes Film Festival in the south of France and was invited to an after-party run by the famous New York nightclub owner, Richie Akiva. Also at this party was Tyga, who famously dated Travis Scott's ex and baby mama Kylie Jenner. Tyga was also with his manager, A.E., who's best known for dating Cher, or most famously known for dating Cher. Richie decided to give a public shout-out to some of the famous faces in the audience, which unintentionally upset Travis.
Guess Richie was the guy that was actually throwing the party. He's a huge promoter and club owner. So we got T-Raw, A.E., and Travis Scott in here make some noise. Travis Scott didn't like that he was named with Tyga, allegedly.
T-Raw, A.E.
T-Raw is, I guess, a nickname for Tyga. Tyga or T-Raw. And also his manager, A.E. A.E. is the guy that is dating Cher.
Oh, got you. Okay, T-Raw and A.E. Okay, they combined it like it's a group.
Yeah, it said T-Raw and A.E. and Travis Scott.
Okay.
Travis Scott took it the same way. We're not a group, so he grabbed the mic and said, "We're not a group. I'm here pretty much."
This inevitably led to a fight that was captured on camera where Travis and A.E. were caught fighting.
Why show this if it's gonna be blacked out, sir? Well, don't show it at all. You can't show. Why you show anything?
Then Richie got the DJ to help break things up. Much like the Meek Mill fight, the footage is not great, and it's difficult to ascertain who started the fight and who ended up winning in the end. However, an anonymous source told Page 6, Travis was the aggressor. He and his team were being erratic, and crazy. He was there looking for a fight with anyone, to be honest. Travis apparently left, but quickly returned with the producer Southside as backup. An insider also told the publication that the feud was not over Kylie Jenner either. The history is there, but it's not like that's necessarily what was the cause of the fight. Because security were quick to intervene, it's difficult to find out exactly who won. What might look rather damning is the fact that Travis and Southside left the party while Tyga and his crew spent the rest of the night at the party and acted as if nothing had ever happened. And although there's an obvious bias attached to this account, Cher tweeted, "I'm proud of Alexander. He didn't start the fight against two men. He finished it. Gotta love him." And TMZ later caught up with AE where he seemed to imply that he won.
Any message to Travis's camp? Nah. I got the message. That's right. What's up? Hey, and Southside you do music with? Yeah. Hey, listen, it's just, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, you know, that it's a healthy fade, you know what I'm saying?
So just like the Tory Lanez situation, it looked as if Travis was the instigator and loser of these fights. And Travis now had a history of not making an example of people. By 2025, you can see how Ye, who had normally been quite respectful towards Travis, was now treating him with complete disregard. Travis has always had a close relationship with Kanye, to the extent that Travis is often viewed as Kanye's protege and successor. There was also a time when they considered each other family, when Ye was married to Kylie's sister, Kim Kardashian. However, in 2018, Travis' song Sicko Mode contained a feature from Drake where he took multiple shots at Ye. Ye was understandably upset with Travis and sent out numerous tweets. One of them wrote, "How you gonna be on Trav's song coming at me? Trav should have never allowed that." This was followed by, "I used to bring Travis with me everywhere. I'm an inspiration to both him and Drake. Trav is my family and let this Met throw sneaky disses at me for clout. Family first and always, it's not about rap, it's about family." And even when things went sour between Ye and Kim, Travis still stood by Ye. In 2022, Kim allegedly refused to send Ye the address of where their daughter Chicago would be celebrating her 4th birthday. So Travis sent Ye the address.
Yo, I'm so happy right now. I just came from Shy's party, and I just gotta shout out to Travis Scott for sending me the address and the time and making sure that...
Not hearing shit for that. If the mama didn't want him there, maybe it's for good reason. I don't even want to say maybe. We know it's for good reason. This man's bipolar. He's not right in the head. So maybe she didn't feel like that would be a good idea. Like maybe he could come here and ruin the party. Maybe he's, erratic. He's not in the best mental space. And here go your messy ass. Here's the address and the time. Like, I just think that's real trifling to get involved with that. I would stay out of it 1,000%.
I was able to spend that birthday memory with my daughter.
I mean, it sounds like it worked out. He might be delusional though. Maybe he threw shit around and it was terrible. But he's so crazy that he's trying to oh yeah, it was a good experience. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Travis was wrong in that, in my opinion.
He's there with the rest of the family.
But things started to change when Ye went on his rants. Ye has since claimed that 4 of his songs were taken off the 2023 album Utopia, and by 2025, Travis had unfollowed Ye from Instagram. In February, Ye went on another highly incoherent online rant and took aim at Drake, Travis, and Ye's former fashion partner, Virgil Abloh. Ye wrote in block capitals and without any punctuation, "I love Trav, Virgil, and Drake. Drake the realest one of those 3 though. He not fake cool, he's just talented AF. And yes, it's F Virgil and any of these other dudes that work for me, then use me, then went against me. I love Virgil and he used that very love to beat. Nigerians are super smart." Then he was Travis, but in an incredibly dismissive way, as if he wasn't even worthy of a diss. I was trying to think of a Travis tweet, but then I just didn't care. Now back to these woke fat chicks. Plastic surgery gives people a second chance at life.
Oh my God.
4 months after this rant, Pusha T had an album to promote. And given all of what happened before, it should come as no surprise that Pusha felt pretty confident that he could say absolutely anything he wanted to about Travis. The new Clips album has made headlines for a number of reasons. To promote the album, Clips did an interview with GQ where Pusha explained that they departed with Def Jam, who apparently wanted to censor a Kendrick Lamar verse from the album. 2 weeks later, Clips would tease the album further with the release of the track So Be It. And on the final verse of the song, Pusha would take shots at Travis, rapping, "You cried in front of me, you died in front of me. Calabasas took your chick and your pride in front of me. Heard Utopia had moved right up the street. And her lip gloss was popping, she ain't need you to eat. The net gon' call it the way that they see it, but I got the video I can share and AE it. They wouldn't believe it, but I can't unsee it. Lucky I ain't TMZ it, so be it." Upon first listen, some people speculated that this could have been about Ye, particularly the mention of Calabasas. However, GQ...
He said Lip Kid. That's Kylie.
released a second article about Clips, which explained that this was actually about Travis. Clips and the publication clearly had some sort of working arrangement where comments from the earlier interview were saved for the release of the song. As many people know, Pharrell has the prestigious role as men's creative director at Louis Vuitton, which came shortly after the predecessor, Virgil Abloh, passed away from cancer. To accommodate Pharrell, he also has his own music studio at their headquarters in Paris and is the sole producer of the upcoming Clips album. And one day, while working on this album, Travis Scott paid a visit to the studio. Here, he played Pharrell and Clips' new album, Utopia, which contained the track Love, which Pharrell produced. But later, when the album came out, it was suspiciously different to the one that Travis had played for Pharrell. That song, Meltdown, now contained a verse from Drake, which dissed not only one, but two people that Travis had acted all friendly with in Pharrell's Paris studio. Unsurprisingly, Drake took shots at Pusha T. Drake made very scathing remarks about Pusha's latest album, It's Almost Dry, and claimed that he was too afraid to visit Toronto. Drake raps, heard your new joint, it's embarrassing-ish. You talk to the cops on some therapist-ish. You act like you love this American-ish, but really the truth is you scared of the six. Then the verse moves on to Drake's very one-sided beef with Pharrell. Drake bought some of Pharrell's jewelry at a public auction and seems to think this is similar to snatching someone's chain. In this verse, he claimed that he was going to melt his iconic jewelry down and that nobody cares about Louis Vuitton since Virgil Abloh passed away. On the verse, Drake says, I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss. Give a F about all that heritage-ish since V not around listening. The only argument in Travis Scott's defense is that Drake may have sent in his verse late. In fact, the first pressing of Utopia...
I'm skipping through that because that's Drake's beef with Pharrell. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with him. I mean, not directly.
...did not even contain Meltdown. So Travis may not have removed the verse when playing it for Pharrell and simply hadn't received it yet. But this doesn't really let Travis off the hook, as he still chose to put the verse out on the final album. Pusha has also given further examples of how Travis has tried to play both sides in multiple rap beefs. As mentioned earlier, Drake was given free...
I don't agree with that. When people saying that you're playing both sides, sometimes you're being the mature party and you don't want no parts. I'm not picking a side if I don't want to be involved in y'all stupid shit. Especially when this has nothing to do with me. And like, I'm just here to make music. I just want to be creative, and y'all got beef. That's on y'all to figure out as grown men. I'm not getting involved in that. Especially when I'm not even close with none of y'all. That's a big, big key. Okay? Travis was not super cool with none of these people. So it's like, I'm definitely not picking no side. Fuck out of here. If we super close and the shit gets real, then it's like, that's a different conversation, all right? Because I've talked about this in the past with the whole Drake and Kendrick beef. Then sometimes it's required for you to pick a side when you're super close with one party. But Travis A wasn't super close with none of these people. He was just here to work, all right?
...to diss Ye multiple times on his 2018 song Sicko Mode. But Travis still maintained a friendship with Ye. In August of 2023, Travis was performing at the Circus Maximus in Rome and brought Ye on stage and uttered the following words.
There is no Utopia without Kanye West. There is no Travis Scott without Kanye West.
But Travis' behavior goes much deeper than simply being neutral. Someone like Lil Baby appeared on both Drake and Ye's albums in 2021 when they were beefing, but didn't appear on any tracks where they dissed each other. This is an important distinction, as Travis seems perfectly fine with being on tracks where friends of his are dissed. And not only does he not mind, he directly benefits from it.
In fact, when Utopia came out, the Meltdown verse from Drake was one of the most highly discussed verses, and it was because of the insults to Pharrell. I mean, Travis can't play completely stupid in this instance. He had to understand on some level the gravity of what was being said in that guest verse and what was being communicated.
Then at the 2024 Rolling Loud Festival, when the tide was turning,
that was a great album.
Travis was more or less begging Future and Metro to play the Drake diss song like that. That would kick off the biggest beef in hip hop history.
Please, bro.
Please, bro.
Please, bro. Nah, he was shady as fuck with this. I remember that. I spoke on it. Please, bro, please. But once again, I don't think he was ever that cool with Drake. But yeah, he ain't shit for that.
According to Pusha, he was on the Rolling Loud stage like, play that. He don't have no picks, no loyalty to nobody. He'll jump around whatever he feels is hot or cling on to whatever he feels is hot. But you can play those games with those people. We're not in your mix. Keep your mix over there. In this interview, Pusha T calls Travis a W-H-O-R-E twice. And it's written in brackets besides this incident.
Whore!
He can't do justice to the disdain.
Little whore.
Pusha would then bring the same energy to the New York Times podcast.
Him specifically, too. I don't take it as personal as I should as Travis. He's harmless. I'm not into what his whole
That just sounds like a diss to me.
And then in a third interview with Apple Music, Pusha triples down on his criticism of Travis. Having called him a monkey and a W-H-O-R-E, he now claims that he can't rap.
I just thought it was disrespectful. I'm like, man, we don't even want you here, to be honest. Like, we're not here to hobnob with any rappers, and I personally don't like rappers who don't rap. He was even instrumental in the whole beef now. The Like That verse,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Egging that on. I don't want nobody who don't rap to egg nothing on.
So Pusha is basically
what
treating
time is that? I need to watch Love Island.
And has done this for possible reasons. He might want to make his insults so extreme that Travis has to
Wrap this
respond,
up.
or he knows that Travis won't respond, so he thinks he can say whatever he wants. And whichever option Travis chooses, Pusha will inevitably win out. The simple fact is that Travis Scott is not a lyricist, and there are very few people outside of his fan base that think he would beat Pusha in a rap battle.
I mean, well, obviously. That's not why we go to Travis, though. I don't see him to be nobody's battle rapper. I can think of several rappers that would demolish him in a rap beef, but we go to him for the melodic bangers, okay? So I really like his music, and yeah, it does seem like he has beef with several people, but I don't think it's necessarily fair. He seemed like he just be chilling, minding his business, and people are expecting a lot out of him. Like, y'all want him to pick a side when it comes to certain situations, and like y'all are kind of egging him on in you know, certain cases, and I just don't think that's fair. And it makes me think of this documentary that I watched, and I did feel bad for him. Obviously, I felt way more for the people who lost their lives. I cried, okay? I was getting my hair done, and I'm washing their chair. I'm just like, it was so ridiculous. And my style was like, you all right? I'm like, I'm a cool girl. But, you know, so I felt horrible for the people who died just to go to a fucking concert, but I also felt bad for him because they just tried to make it seem like he was this demon and it's all his fault, and knowing the details of the situation, that's just not fair. That was on Live Nation, okay? I would put most of the blame on them. They literally sold 50,000 tickets for a concert that could only hold, I want to say like 30,000 people, they said, and they sold 50,000 tickets. Also, people were like breaking down the gates. So several people broke in the concert who didn't even have a ticket. So the number was like way past 50,000. So they had way more people there than should have been there. Travis is not putting this shit together and selling tickets and figuring out the logistics of the situation. He's the artist. He just came to perform. And also, there were people, they showed text messages of people who worked for Live Nation basically communicating with each other and saying like, shit is getting bad. People are getting trapped in this one section and it's not looking good. Like, this looks like somebody could die. Like, they literally said that and they didn't stop the show. Like, they just kept the shit going. So it was like multiple, you know, situations where they could have prevented that and they chose not to. And those are the people in power. Like, these artists, they don't have a lot of power. I feel like people assume that they have more control than they actually do. And I just thought that that was unfair to put that on Travis when, you know, he didn't put the damn concert together. He's not responsible for any of the logistics and putting, you know, the show together. And also, they were trying to say that, oh, they were yelling at him to stop the show. You can't fucking hear. It's a loud ass concert. He couldn't hear that shit. So to be like, oh, we was all yelling at him to stop the show. Like, they showed the concert. Most people were dancing. They didn't know what was going on. They were oblivious that people were dying, obviously. So most of the people were just, you know, enjoying the concert. So you can only imagine how much noise that was, and like well over 50,000 people there. Like, you can't be like, I know you heard us. We was yelling at you. Like, what? I don't know. So it was just, you know, parts of that I didn't agree with when they were putting like all the blame on Travis. Maybe he did contribute to it, you know, to a certain degree. Like I said, his rowdy, you know, but you can't even just say that to him. A lot of rap artists like get their, you know, their fans super rowdy. Rock artists do this as well. So can you really put that on him? Obviously, he's not expecting anybody to die at the show. So I don't think that's a fair criticism either, actually, now that I think about it. Because I feel like I was initially saying that and like, well, he kind of contributes to that behavior. But it's like, no, not to the extent where, you know, people should die. And it's like a lot of artists, you know, encourage that mosh pit, like hype, you know, energy at their shows. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It adds to the enjoyment. I think it can be fun. So I don't think you can put that blame on him either. Anyway, check out the documentary if you haven't seen it. It's very interesting, and very sad. But yeah, I think he might be a punching bag to a certain degree. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think though, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.